And now for a musical review. Apples, peaches, pumpkin pie. This show is shit. Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, coming to you live to talk about episode 4 of Ousama Game, the animation. And I'm not really sure what in the hell was going on in this episode. Some poor decision making again. And this time, unfortunately, falling on the flashback characters. Nami is apparently very smitten with Nobuaki, wants to be his girlfriend, wants to confess her love for him. And simply because he has theorized the king must be a member of their class. Bearing in mind this is the flashback class, the originating class, that had undergone the king's game, and Nobuaki's the only survivor as far as we're aware. Just taking it on his word, she decides, when she gets a command from the king to give herself an order as though passed down directly from the king, she decides rather than, I'm gonna order myself to drink a bottle of water before midnight. I'm gonna order myself to eat some sushi before midnight. I'm gonna order myself to go to sleep before midnight, or I'm gonna go take a crap before midnight. Any number of things. She decides rather that she's going to order herself to have to touch the king by the end of the day. Only under the speculation, the theorizing of Nobuaki that the king must be a member of their class. Do you see the holes in this plan at all? I mean, there's so many holes, it might as well be a block of Swiss cheese. Now, I don't dispute the possibility that somebody in the class could be the king. And by the end of this episode, I was going to sort of, tiptoe around it and wait till the end of this video to bring this point up. But I think this episode could have been a complete misdirection. Where maybe Nami herself, the most seemingly innocent, character in all of Nobuaki's class, maybe she is the king in human skin, as he, says at some point in the episode. A demon in human clothing, that kind of thing, a wolf in sheep's clothing, analogous to that. And they actually do think at one point it is sort of the reserved, off to her own, outcast of the group, of the class, this gray-haired Rhea. And she immediately, kind of is like nails down the chalkboard to that effect, like, oh, you think I'm the king? Well, maybe I am. She comes out and says, I am the king, and that's how I know who the king is, and all this, blah-de-blah. Because she's the only one, she would be a good reviewer of Ousama Game, the animation. Because she's like, do you see the fault in your plan? The episode ends with her pointedly saying to Nobuaki, are you fucking stupid? Where is your brain? Here is hamburger on plate. Here is empty plate. Where's your brain? There should be a brain on this plate here. I don't even know what that means. That's what the show does to me. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the fuck is going on in this show. So they're trying to find the king, and Nami comes up with this great plan, because Nobuaki has said he suspects, he thinks, he theorizes someone in the class might be the king, must be the king. How else would these super normal things be happening, right? I mean, if we're to take everything that's happening as brass tacks, because of this, because of the punishment the king hands down, Nami goes blind. That kind of seems weird, unless it's a bold-faced lie. Getting back to what I was going to hold off on, I think it's all a misdirection, and Nami is the king, or could be, because she doesn't have to touch herself if she's the king. She touches everyone in class, but she can't, you never see her go like that, which kind of sounds stupid, but look at the kind of game this is. Look at how stupid some of these things are. And it just seems, because she is so innocent and she has such a tie to Nobuaki, well, that would be why Nobuaki could survive, could be manipulated to survive. And there's the whole aspect of, after she goes blind due to her punishment, because she hasn't touched the king at the end of the day, Nobuaki gets the follow-up message saying, well, you have to lose something important now. Well, obviously, oh no, oh shit, gee, golly gee willikers, shucks. It's going to be Nami, of course, right? No. He goes home and he smashes everything he owns. He smashes up the guitar and the bracelet of his buddy who died in an episode or two ago. But there's no message. He tells Nami there's a message, and we're all in the clear, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. He's lying out his asshole to Nami for some reason. The girl has suffered enough. If we're to take this all as reality, she's blind. She suffered the punishment. Now Nobuaki has to lose something important, and at one point he actually calls Chiemi and breaks up with her, viciously breaks up with her. There is a message that follows that he's in compliance now. But it also coincides with the seeming, we never see a body, the seeming death of Nami, who apparently, though she is blind, is left walking around the entire town. Somehow she manages to go from a riverside to the fucking beach, to the ocean, and she manages to walk into the ocean somehow? Oh, and by the way, she also leaves footprints in the sand, and she apparently had time enough, even though she can't fucking see, to find herself at the fucking beach and leave a message scrawled in the fucking sand saying, Nobuaki, I love you? No wonder Ria comes in and is like, are you fucking stupid? And that's everybody in the show so far. Everybody in this fucking show is stupid. Now people in the flashbacks are utmost stupid. First, it was just the modern portions of the episode. And we begin this episode right where we left off. And I'm like, uh-oh, Kenta's going to get killed immediately because he's talking about, oh, somebody lost the phone. We got to go get the phone. We got to go back to where we were all the crowd of crazy fucking people. The mongrels that were about to attack Nobuaki are. We got to go find the fucking phone. No, that doesn't happen because then Nobuaki's like, oh, well, actually, instead of going to the hospital, instead of going to seek healing, I need to go and find this place. Well, what place, Nobuaki? Tell us. How does Nobuaki know that the King's Game began 30 years ago? Presumably, after being victimized by the first Ousama game and being the only survivor, maybe he's done some research. We don't see any of that. No idea. He could have just popped this out of his back pocket, this idea, 30 years ago. In a town, far away, a train's ride away, we might find the secret, because that's where the King's Game began. How do you know this? How do you know this? How do you know this is the town where it originates? Where have you gotten, you completely incorrectly assumed, seemingly, that the king might be a member of your class, your original class. How do you now assume, if you go and track down the origins of the game, which it's like, what tells you that's the origins of it? How do you know it just started 30 years ago? How do you know it's not 300 fucking years ago? How do you know it's not been going on since the dawn of human existence? Whatever, that's fine. He seems to think it's 30 years ago in this town, a little, train ride away. So he's going to go back to that town, and he thinks he's going to find a way to stop this. That's what Nobuaki's all about now. Whereas in the first couple of episodes, he didn't want shit to do with anybody. No, now he wants to come back, and he wants to, he wants to get in like Flynn and try to stop this, try to kill the king. Somebody broaches the idea, I think it's Ria in the flashback, the only way you're going to stop the king is to identify him and kill him. And I've been thinking that since day one. Just find the king and kill it. Whatever it is. This, by the way, they're all consumed with it being somebody, a part of their class or something like that. It doesn't seem to have occurred to anyone that this is somehow supernatural, somehow demonic. Even though Nobuaki says, oh, a demon in human clothing, I don't think he thinks thing one about that. I don't think he's made that realization yet. That, oh, this must be some kind of demonic presence or something. A guy fucking exploded into blood, like blood just poured out of him. Just out of the blue. Yeah, that was certainly, nobody was around him. People were gawking and gaping and watching it happen, but nobody went up to him and stabbed him 100,000 times. He just exploded out with all his innards. That says to me, maybe a little more elaborate than a classmate. Now, granted, that was something that happened with the new class, but still, the rest of the people watching, hello? Maybe there's something a little weird about this shit. And nobody seems to be, rationalizing any of this, thinking about any of this. We had the dope head in the previous episode, when the chick goes batshit insane, back guano insane, and he's like, do you think she's a little weird? Brains in this show. You know what I'm saying? They're few and far between. So, okay, Nobuaki Kenta and the chick that followed them home or were following them to the hospital, they're all on the train. And they're going, presumably, to this town, this origin town. And that is wherein he relates the whole backstory about Ria and Nami and everything like that. Nami, thinking herself brilliant, is going to put her hands on the king, who must be a member of the class, simply because Nobuaki has speculated it so. And she has utmost faith in him because she is head over spiel in love with him. And that seemingly not only makes her blind, but seemingly also she sacrifices her life to save Nobuaki's. And I call horseshit. I think the blinding thing could have been a complete and utter fabrication, could have been a lie. Maybe not. Maybe this is all true. Maybe Nami's really well and truly dead. Maybe she's not the king, and we won't find her, resurfacing at some point down the line after Nobuaki tracks down whatever this 30 years previous history where the King's Game began bullshit. I mean, I have suspect that she's going to show up again and she's going to be the villain, and have been all along. But for all intents and purposes, like I said, she's blind. She somehow gets from point A to point B across an entire town. Who knows how far she traveled on her own, on foot. And Nobuaki can't find her. He fell asleep for, what? A minute? 5 minutes? Half an hour? 3 hours? Who knows how long he fell asleep. He was in her company. She disappears. Finds her way to the beach completely blind. Oh, it's hard to get around when you're blind, she tells him over the phone. No shit. How did you end up at the beach, lady? I don't know. But she wound up there. She had time enough to scrawl, I love you, Nobuaki, in the dirt, the sand, before even actually, how did she get there? How did she get down on all fours and write the words? I mean, you could probably feel it out, but still. Even if you're blind, And she walks into the ocean, and no evidence of her being anywhere. Nobuaki is screaming, bloody murder, crying, oh my god, this girl, she died, she sacrificed her life for me, oh my god, it's my fault, I broke up with my girlfriend. Bearing in mind, again, he broke up with Chiemi over the phone, and that could have been the thing that got the message saying, oh good, you're in good standing with the king, you lost something important, you broke up with your girlfriend. Could have nothing to do with Nami walking into the ocean and dying, supposedly. And then Ria shows up, and there she is, again, being the reviewer of the show. Are you fucking stupid? Cliffhanger ending. And so, yeah. This show sucks. It has potential. I mean, it really does have potential. It could have been really good. I'm not ready to drop it because I'm just having too much fun, exploding and ranting after every episode in these videos. It's a blast to just be watching this, and hopefully people who are watching my videos, this is what you went through when you watched the show. I don't think I could palate anyone actually sitting back and telling me, no, man, this is genius. This is brilliant. You didn't get into the emotions. You didn't get, no, I was too busy, thinking about things, trying to figure out things, trying to rationalize things, make sense of things that otherwise don't make fucking a lick of sense. And that's this show in a nutshell so far. So I guess we'll see what happens next. Yeah, I will probably be back for the next one because this is just too fucking funny. It's too insane. It's off the wall. It's absurd. And I'm sure it could have been that much better. That's the sad thing. This could have been a really engrossing, captivating, terrorizing kind of a story. And it's just not. It's just the people in it are stupid as all fucking get out. But yeah, so Nobuaki's going back to this little town he thinks this all originated in. Good luck to you, Nobuaki. And to try to find the king. That's the thing. You know, from day one I said, just find the king. Just figure out who it is, what it is, find it, kill it, you know, manipulate the order that the you know, somebody could get an order, a King's Game order saying, you know, you now have to cast down an order, and it's an order that has to be passed down as if from the king. Why doesn't somebody say, well, okay, the order is the king has to reveal himself or itself? Guess what? Then it would have to. But then again, I guess the show would be over. You know, who knows? But I don't know. I don't fucking know with this show. Let me know what you thought of this show, this episode, if you watched it, in the comments below. Love having that conversation, all that good stuff. But yeah, this is about enough of this show for me for this week. It's good. It's a weekly show. It takes a week to get over the absurdity and the nausea. I mean, you know, they had a character called Rhea. Yeah, this show gives me diarrhea. Anyway, I'll catch you all later. Peace.